are one what's coming to me, or what's coming to the world.
I told everybody, you fucking scumbag. He's a fucking bum. He's a fucking bum. My son could beat anybody when he boxes, bro. Ain't nobody could beat him when he boxes, cause that's what we do, we box. We don't need no fucking tune-up, bro. This motherfucker fucked up Ugas and Short Porter in sparring at 17. He's a master at boxing. When this motherfucker boxes, nobody could beat him. We fight Josh Taylor, we outbox the shit out of him, we win. And what the people gonna do? They gonna shut the fuck up, I'll be trainer of the year again. Fuck, get the fuck out of here, Eddie Noster, bro. A fucking banger, bro? Eddie Noster's a banger fucking trainer, bro. All that nigga knows is just throw left hooks and upper right hands. I'm trainer of the year, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck, cause we here to take care of anybody that's around, bro. You think, bro, my son was undisputed world champion of the world. You think we're gonna choose and pick who the fuck we fighting next? Are you crazy? Bro, in the history of boxing, he's the only boxer in the world to become undisputed in 60 fights. They could get away with it, bro. There's no way that dude won, bro. No fucking way! All y'all motherfuckers sound like fucking bitches, bro. All y'all motherfuckers sound like fucking bitches, bro. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. Oh, this fucking, get the fuck out of here with those fucking pussies, bro. Fight our leftovers, bro. Fight Nakatani. Fight Lomachenko, bro. Come on. Show us something, bro. That's how it was back in the days with Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, and everybody, man. Why are you trying to over here and try to bullshit that shit? You a social media dude, bro. I told everybody, you fucking scumbag. Scumbag, 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 scumbag.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be possible. So with that being said, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe, Low Nose Boxing. We're going to talk about the top 10 pound for pound list in boxing. My personal top 10 pound for pound list in boxing and why I rate these fighters where they're rated at. On my personal top 10 pound for pound list. Everyone has their own personal top 10 pound for pound list. ESPN has one. The Ring Magazine has one. And there's other YouTubers in the boxing community that also have their own pound for pound list. Everyone has their own reasons and how they construct their list. Some guys go based on a fighter's skill set and what they believe a fighter can do if that fighter was the same weight as another fighter. I have different criterias that go into my pound for pound list. One is Accolades. Accolades basically is how many championships won, whether the fighter was ever undisputed or unified, how many title defenses, how many weight classes that fighter has won titles in. And then we have resume, the level of opponents that fighter has faced and defeated. Then we have level of dominance. How convincingly is this fighter winning his fights? Is he knocking guys out? Are these fights close, hard-fought decisions? Or is he literally outboxing them and wiping them out on the scorecards? In other words, whitewashes. Another criteria is skill set, which pretty much speaks for itself. Another criteria is consistency. How long has that fighter been on the highest level? How long has that fighter been competing at the highest level? Those are my criteria for my pound for pound list. So with that being said, I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top. Pardon me, I have a little gas right now. Number 10 on my pound for pound list, Gervonta Tank Davis. When it comes to Gervonta Tank Davis, he's very high on level of dominance. Gervonta Tank Davis is knocking out damn near everybody he's fighting, with the exception of Isaac Pitbull Cruz. As far as accolades go, Gervonta Davis is a 2-time junior lightweight champion. Despite the fact that he's been jumping up 3 weight classes, he's really a 1-division world champion. His resume is pretty decent, and his skill set is definitely up there as well. So Gervonta Tank Davis is number 10 on my pound for pound list. Number 9 on my list is Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson has an incredible skill set. Shakur Stevenson does have some very, very good accolades. He's a 2-division world champion at 126 and unified at 130 pounds. Shakur Stevenson right now is campaigning at 135, which is lightweight. Shakur Stevenson is finding it very difficult to land a big fight. Shakur Stevenson may very well be the most avoided boxer in the sport right now at the moment. Nobody wants to fight him. Devin Haney avoided him. Vasyl Lomachenko avoided him. George Kambosos avoided him. So it's pretty interesting to see what's next for Shakur Stevenson. As for Shakur Stevenson's resume, he has some decent guys on his resume. He has wins over Oscar Valdez, Joet Gonzalez, Jamel Herring, Christopher Diaz, and that one was early in his career. So with that being said, coming in at number 8, Devin the Dream Haney. When it comes to accolades, you can't deny the fact that he has the accolades. Devin Haney is the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He has a very good skill set. He's piling up a pretty good resume. He has Vasyl Lomachenko under his resume, Jorge Linares. He got Jojo Diaz at the time when Jojo Diaz had his best momentum. And next, Devin Haney is going to face off with Regis Prograis. That's going to be a tough fight. And if he wins that, we're looking at one of the better resumes in boxing. Devin Haney has the 2nd best resume out of the young 4 kings in boxing right now. Speaking of 4 kings, the young 4 kings of boxing, coming in at number 7, Teofimo Lopez, the takeover, the takeback. When it comes to accolades, Teofimo Lopez is a 2-division world champion. He was the undisputed champion at 135 pounds, and he's the lineal champion and the WBO champion at 140 pounds right now. When it comes to resume, he has one of the best resumes in boxing, hands down. He got 2 pound-for-pound fighters on his resume in Vasyl Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. At the time he beat Lomachenko, Lomachenko was number 3 on the list, top 3 pound-for-pound on the list. When he defeated Josh Taylor was around the bottom of the top 15 pound-for-pound list. When it comes to level of dominance, even though Teofimo Lopez has had a couple of fights that he did not look great at, when he faced the best competition, he blew them out the water. He destroyed Richard Coleman in 2 rounds. He outclassed Josh Taylor and gave Lomachenko a boxing lesson. What Teofimo Lopez can work on right now is his consistency. He has to keep on winning these fights, stay on the win column, pile up some title defenses, and he could definitely move up that list. Coming in at number 6, Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, when it comes to accolades, he has it. He's the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. Despite the fact that Jermell Charlo doesn't really have any big names on his resume, he did beat some solid guys in his weight class. And Jermell Charlo has a huge fight coming up with Saul Canelo Alvarez September 30th. If Jermell Charlo can pull that upset off, he's definitely going to be moved up my list in the top 3 for sure. Especially how he wins that fight, if he wins that fight. But that's a big if. That's what you call daring to be great. Coming in at number 5, on my list is Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol, even though he's a 1-division world champion, he's not undisputed. I don't believe he's unified neither. But Dmitry Bivol has been on the highest level for a little while now. He's been a champion for a little while. He has a pretty decent resume but his victory over Canelo Alvarez, that win alone may be the biggest win that anybody on this list has, and he beat him convincingly. So we definitely gotta have Dimitri Bivol in the top 5 pound for pound at number 5. Coming in at number 4, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez, when it comes to accolades, he got it down pat. He was a former he was a former unified champion at 154 and 160. He's the current undisputed champion at 168, and he even won a title at 175. And then he might have the greatest resume right now in boxing out of today's generation. He has a skill set. His level of dominance hasn't really been there. He has a few fights on his record that he won that were close, maybe a little controversial. Nevertheless, Saul Canelo Alvarez at number 4. Coming in at number 3, Alexander Usyk. This is an interesting one for me because I usually don't have heavyweights on the pound for pound list unless it's a relatively small heavyweight, because smaller heavyweights that are beating big guys, you got to give them credit for that. Like Deontay Wilder, like Mike Tyson, like Evander Holyfield. Alexander Usyk is a smaller heavyweight who's beating these bigger guys with pure skills. However, he's also a former undisputed cruiserweight champion, so he does have a lot of accolades, and he has 3 titles at heavyweight right now. And at number 2, Inoue Inoue. Inoue Inoue, when it comes to accolades, he was an undisputed champion at 118 pounds. He's a 4-division world champion. He's a unified champion at 122 pounds. And I don't really know too much about his resume, but I do know that Nonito Donaire was a very solid win. And he also defeated, in convincing fashion, Stephen Fulton, who at the time I had him ranked at the bottom of my top 15 pound for pound list. So Inoue Inoue is definitely up there at number 2. Terrence Bud Crawford is the number 1 fighter on my list, pound for pound. He checks off all the boxes. When it comes to accolades, he's a 3-division world champion. He's a 2-time undisputed champion. When it comes to level of dominance, he stopped the last 11 fighters or 12 fighters that he faced. And he doesn't just stop them, he outboxes them, he dominates them throughout the fight and then puts them out of there. When it comes to consistency, he's been a champion for quite some time. He's definitely been on the highest level for quite some time. When it comes to skill set, the proof is in the pudding. The part where Terrence Crawford can improve on is his resume. Despite the fact that he did destroy Errol Spence, he was the first fighter to also stop Sean Porter. Terrence Crawford does have some good wins, some solid names on his resume, but he could definitely get some more names on that resume to further solidify his legacy. We got Jaron Ennis out there at 147 pounds. We got Keith Thurman out there, who's a big name, and then possibly the winner of Jamel Charlo and Canelo Alvarez if Terrence Crawford makes that move. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up at as far as on the all-time list. Now I got to give a shout out to honorable mentions to fighters that did not make that list. Fighters that I will have at the bottom, like if I was to make a top 15 list, fighters I would have on that list to go along with the guys that I mentioned would be guys like Vasil Lomachenko, what's the guy's name? Man, pardon me for butchering this guy's name, man. Artur Beterbiev or Beterbiev, whatever you want to call him, he would definitely be on this list. But we got so many incredible fighters, man. 2023 has been a hell of a year. We got to see how it turns out. Thank you for allowing me to share my pound for pound list with all of y'all. With that being said, hit the like button, share this video, leave a comment, subscribe. Low Nose Boxing, because Low Nose Boxing, I'm out.